Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Football Inc. It's Champions League night. It's been Champions League night for the last 48 hours almost, but we're here anyway, sort of belatedly. We wanted to get something out because there's a really interesting story developing in the Champions League that will have part of its kind of comeuppance, part of its ultimatum will be found in about 5 hours' time. I hope you are all happy and healthy, doing the things that you love with Johnny and I. Smash the like button if you enjoy the content over here at Football Inc. New fledgling channel, trying to get to 1,000 subs. So any help is greatly appreciated. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and drop some comments. Let us know your thoughts on our takes. Johnny, my man, how you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. It's an interesting game tonight. A really interesting game. The battle of the state-owned clubs, Qatar versus Saudi Arabia tonight, and both of their positions in the Champions League on a knife edge. One stuck in 24th, is it, and one in 26th.
Yeah. I'd love to be able to bring the screens up in front of us so we can go through it, but unfortunately, shenanigans are afoot, so we can't do it. But I will endeavour to try to put them up, an overlay on the top in the post edit. Johnny, you're absolutely spot on when you say that Manchester City are playing against PSG tonight. City currently occupy the last spot that is reserved for the 16 teams that don't qualify by right. First to 8 qualify by right in 2 games' time. There's only 6 points more to play for. City currently on 8 points. PSG in 26th, 2 spots below them on 7 points. And just to give you a little clue, guys, if you haven't been paying attention, then the teams that are above them, that are obviously the threat and that might be the victims of some sort of resurgence over the next 2 games from City or from PSG, are Celtic, who currently sit on 9 points, having played the same games. Real Madrid, also on 9 points, having played the same games. Stuttgart on 10 points, having played a game more on 7, so they've only got 1 more game to play. Feyenoord, one of my favourite teams, on 6 games played, 10 points. Sporting the same, 6 and 10. And then above them, it's Benfica and Bruges and PSV that are all on 7 games played. So 3 points left to play for them. And Benfica's on 10, Bruges and PSV on 11. There's some fascinating encounters tonight, mate. But listen, of the 2 teams that are playing, City and PSG, it's at PSG, it's in Paris, so it makes it a little bit more complicated for City. If they don't win tonight, if PSG do win, Paris will go to 10 points, and you'd imagine would probably be in the realms of okay. But City will have to win, in all likelihood, their final game of the season to
Club Bruges
to stay in the competition, and that's even by a hook or by a crook, because they still have to then get past one of the teams that they'll place in the last 16 double legger. Johnny, it's fascinating, mate. All to play for. What's your takeaway, buddy?
I'm amazed at 2 clubs, who were smashing it not so long ago, were a given. This format, people criticize this new format. I actually think this
I think it's great.
It's been a breath of fresh air. I mean, normally at this stage, it's all over. You've either qualified, you're resting players. No.
Yeah, because if you in the old format, if you got a good draw, then you were through, because you get to play the weak team twice. You get to play, if you get a good sort of third place team twice, you get to play them again, right? And the same if you're a team in Group B, but you get the weakest in Group A, then you get to play them twice, right? So you're probably okay. Whereas on this format, you play everybody. Is it everybody once, or is it some teams twice?
No, you just play randoms. I mean,
but 8 games of randoms, right? Yeah,
4 away, 4 at home, random. Yeah. I mean, PSG have lost to. They've had a tough draw. PSG, they've lost to Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, and Bayern, and now they've got Man City. That's no easy. You would never get that in a group game. I mean, obviously, since selling Mbappe, Luis Enrique has got a lot of rebuild to be doing. Mm-hmm. And as far as I know they've had injuries to Marquis and Hakimi. I think they're hoping they're going to be back, but I actually think this is a huge game as well for Manchester City.
Before we talk about City, just quickly, Johnny, would you make the argument, as I probably am about to, that Paris Saint-Germain's front 3, or their options at least, are comparable, if not better, even despite losing the world's best player in Mbappe. Bradley Barcola, absolutely terrifying on his day. Ousmane Dembele, sensational. Obviously, they've just lost Kolo Muani, but they've got Desiree Doué, the player that a lot of teams in the UK were looking for as an option. He ended up going to Paris and then staying there. I mean, Paris doesn't get much of a threat in the Ligue 1, but in terms of the Champions League, this format probably doesn't suit them as much as the previous format does. They have to play, as you said correctly, ply their trade against some bigger names. But ultimately, like their front line is terrifying, if not more terrifying than the Manchester City's at times, isn't it?
Yeah, but I just think that it's the camaraderie, it's how they gel together. We've seen it before. A team of Galacticos individuals doesn't make a great team. We've seen lesser players who gel and make something special. We've seen teams go on runs. Whether it be Leicester going all the way or teams that, have gone in historically to the final or near the final, even like Spurs, whoever thought Spurs would make the Champions League final, 5 years ago. So it can happen. I just think Man City is a more established setup, and that they've lost so many players due to injuries. Foden's now looking like he's finding his mojo. Kevin De Bruyne's back, Dorku, and it's not long now. I don't think they'll make it tonight. Oscar Bob and Ake are nearing coming back, but I think that they should, in my opinion, have too much for PSG. But it's a really tough game, and everyone knows if you lose this game, if PSG lose this game, the likelihood is they are going to be out, because they're already in 26th place, 2 places below qualification, and this will drop them even further back. I think their last game is I'm trying to think who their last game was against.
Paris,
PSG. Yeah.
They've got. I'll tell you right now, they have. In the final round, they are going to be playing against Stuttgart at home. Stuttgart away.
Yeah, now Stuttgart again are above them. Have got some
a team that's in that kind of danger zone as well. So
listen, look, I just believe Kovacic is back. McAtee even got on the score sheet on the weekend there against Ipswich. I think they should have too much for them. I really want to see whatever you think, I would rather see City go through. It's good for coefficient, rankings. So anyone finished 5th, we get an extra team in the Champions League. And I'm not one of these people, I don't know about you, who'd like to see City go out. I'd rather PSG went out than Man City, personally.
I don't really care, mate. All I care about is the quality of the football that I watch on a Wednesday evening. The best team wins. If there's some good games, and tonight would be a cracker. Be a cracker. So
it should be a great game.
Yeah,
it should be a great game. And Luis Enrique, I'm surprised he's not been under a little bit more pressure, considering some of the results. How they don't seem to tolerate much. I mean, we've seen Tuchel go. We can list all the coaches that have left. So
let me ask this, Johnny. Though, is that an exit from the competition? Obviously, I think Paris will probably be fine either way, but. If you're an Arsenal fan tonight, if you're a Liverpool fan, more importantly, is there any hope that City qualify? Because the extra games, the extra distraction, it keeps City at bay. City, look, they had a horrendous start to the year, completely unbecoming of them as a football club and unusual to see. And obviously they've made significant, or they're looking like they're going to close out on some very, very significant business in the January window. Some of the players might not necessarily always be ready to come in straight away, but they're planning not just for the future, but in some of those areas for now. If they were to lose tonight, and if they were to then, be right up against it for their final game against Bruges, and look, Bruges are no mugs. They're no mugs. They've got some really great. Got some great players in that team. You love Skov Olsen. Oh, I think Skov Olsen left actually. You've got my boy Andreas Skov Olsen over there. Sorry, did I say no? Sorry, Antonio Nusa. Sorry, I think left. Nusa left. Scott Olsen's still there.
Talking about Antonio Nusa.
Yeah. Sorry. Is there any? If you're a Liverpool fan, are you hoping that City stay in the competition because it adds more games to their fixture list and it keeps them at bay, or does it not really matter if you're a Liverpool fan and you think they've got such a gap that it's fine for them?
I don't think City have got any hope of being in the top 8, even if they win tonight. I don't think.
Right. But if they qualify for the last in that 16
packet, 2 games, they
get 2 games, and then if they get past them, because their form now would probably dictate that they would, then they're in the quarterfinals, etc. Whereas if they go out, they've got really nothing to worry about apart from the FA Cup and the Premier League for the next 4 months, right? So it's a bit dangerous for the teams above them in the Premier League.
No, I just think that Man City, Liverpool have already played Man City, and I think that if Man City come back, they'll be taking points off of Arsenal, and Forest, and whoever else is chasing them. I don't think it's relevant. I just think that Man City are likely, if they do win tonight, to go, to go into the pre-knockout stage and play an extra 2 games, which they definitely won't want to do at the moment with all the injuries and trying to get back into the, into league position. I think it's a tough one. Could you imagine if they did lose tonight? The headlines looking to crash out. I mean, I'm not saying they'll lose to Bruges, but PSG equally. The headlines, I think Luis Enrique's job might be in jeopardy.
Would you take him at Tottenham?
No.
You haven't, no? Okay.
No.
Would you make the argument, like I probably am thinking on the spot here, that a draw doesn't suit either of them at all, and that therefore it's probably the most likely outcome?
Well, I think this is a game that everyone should be tuning into, because I think it's do or die, personally. I think Man City are in a better position. They're sitting in the 24th and final place. So for them, I don't think even a draw will drop them down. But I think PSG are the ones that desperately need that win. Personally, because Stuttgart away in their final game is no easy feat. They've been playing well, Stuttgart, in this competition, and surprising quite a few people in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League. So no, I think it's a hard game, and I think everyone should be tuning in tonight to watch it. Let us know if you're watching this prior to the game, what your thoughts are and score prediction. I'm going to go for a 2-1. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Manchester City win. What about you, Sean?
I think there's goals, but I look at that Paris front line, and I think that Man City are going to have to come out and play. They have to, because anything other than a win, like I say, for both teams is disastrous. But given that City are away from home, I think they have to push the needle a bit further and faster. And so I think they're going to come and play. And I think that Paris on the break, with the pace that they have in Desiree Doué and the trickery there, and same with Dembele, same with Barcola, I think that there is a lot of breakaway opportunities. It depends how Enrique sets them up. If he goes against the grain of his natural tendencies, like, think about Ange Postecoglou. I know we're Tottenham fans, and sorry for everyone who's not, but Ange Postecoglou is the sort of manager that doesn't care about any of those details, doesn't care about the circumstance, doesn't really care about the game state, and likes to just play his football, which I think will always be a needle in his own back. Or a rod for his own back if we ever were to get it to that level in the Champions League. And for those purposes, I think that Luis Enrique is also going to have to struggle with that same tendency, that same desire to do what he usually does versus what's in the best interest. And if I'm him, if I'm in charge, it's me, I'd set them up a little bit differently. And if he does it the right way, I think you could see an upset here. And I think I might go for something that's going to have an absolute belter written all over it, Johnny. I'm going to say 3-2 Paris. Yeah. And I don't care of the result. I don't care about City or Paris. I want there to be good football on offer, because I need a distraction from other things.
Well, we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Leave a score prediction, and we look forward to seeing you at on our next video. And it's goodbye from me.
You heard that right. It's goodbye from him. I'm going to see you later on, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Like, subscribe, and comment. Don't forget, it really does help the channel. And as always, as Johnny just said, with the fireworks, bye-bye.